Hello and welcome to this session. This is a totally dedicated session on the last unit of M2, our marketing specialization. In this particular unit, we are going to deal with salesmanship and its various aspects as per the syllabus that we have already shared with you. The entire unit M2 is IMC, Integrated Marketing Communication. We have been talking about branding, product as a personality, perception, and how we take care of buyers, beliefs and faith and perceptions more. So we were into science and art of it, where we are trying to deal more with product-centric and buyer-centric activities. But salesmanship is a very traditional and one of the original philosophies in the marketing in the beginning stages. So from merchandising to trading and trading to salesmanship is a big journey, a huge journey. And we have great examples of people doing a lot of salesmanship and winning a lot of great, you can say, successful achievements throughout the world. We have Indian examples as well as we have other Western examples also. And there are a lot of theories initially involved into it. In this particular unit, we are going to have the additional, you can say, input, which is completely different than other different units which are talking about brand. Salesmanship is an art of selling goods and services of the seller to buyers. It is a seller-initiated effort that provides prospective buyers with information and motivates or persuades you to simply buy the product. And making a favorable decision concerning the seller's product, that is very, very important. It is seller-initiated effort that provides prospective buyers with information and motivation or persuades them to make favorable buying decisions concerning the seller's product or services. Now, the American Marketing Association defined the term salesmanship as a personal and impersonal process of assisting and or persuading a prospective customer to buy a commodity or service to act favorable upon an idea that has a commercial significance. In my earlier lecture also I mentioned to you, this activity is not something that running after the people and asking favor for. It has a commercial significance. Those salesmen who don't maintain the commercial significance, they fail to praise the customer more. They try to impress the customer more and try to entangle into the personal relationship of customer. That's the failure of salesmanship and success of relationship. But that is not a good marketing in terms of sales theories that we have studied so far. What are the features of salesmanship? And the features are very interesting. Salesmanship is an art. Yes, it is an art. Personal service, art of attracting and persuading customers, art of converting desire into necessity, buyer's confidence, consumer satisfaction, establishment of permanent relations, true, service for producers, distributors and consumers also. It carries mutual benefit and educative process. There is continuous learning in this process. What is the importance of salesmanship? The importance of salesmanship is to the producers, to the customers, to salesmen, to government and to society. All of them require a salesman to finally deal with all the activities in the business cycle. So what is the scope of salesmanship? Transport, repairing, teaching is a service. And yes, of course, there is a salesmanship scope, as you can see. The course and various colleges and universities now competing with each other. It's a sort of salesmanship. Painting, banking, legal, medicine, insurance, etc. Salesmanship in its higher levels include the subject matter like product knowledge. Of course, you should have knowledge of your own customers, training and control of salesmen, organization and management of sales department, etc. This is something very essential and important for all of us to know. What are the advantages of salesmanship? In this particular case, if you just check, you will come to know that the advantages are very essentially, we can say, maintained in the sales process. And so, what happens is that salesman never dies. Though the salespeople will be changed, but salesmanship never dies. Salesmanship helps in preventing the piling up of used stock. Salesmanship helps in creating demand for the goods, which leads to increase the production. It is the best means of two-way communication by the company to the customer, or rather between customer and company. It increases in sales and helps to increase the profits. Increased sales-induced business activity, which provide more employment and higher income for the community. Consumers are benefited as salesmen provide them great deal of useful information. What are the limitations of salesmanship? Limitation of salesmanship: high cost of personal selling. Of course, you got to pay a good salary to a salesman. Salesmanship adopts the method of pressure selling. True. It creates a moral pressure on the customer to buy your product. And that is something very interesting but true. And it really makes some sense to people. Even if they don't want to buy, sometimes due to pressure, they have to buy. Good and competent salesperson are scared. True. Really, it's a scarce community because a good person into selling is very rare, and you have to have a good rapport for that and good relationship. I have given you the example of sister of Raj Kapoor, the famous actor, who was LIC's star performer, celebrity agent and celebrity performer into insurance industry some years back. That makes a lot of sense. What is personal selling? According to AMA, oral presentation is a conversation with one or more prospective customers for the purpose of making sales. It is most important for all the market efforts of an enterprise because through personal selling, consumers are encouraged more. When you talk personally, people are encouraged to think and take decisions. What are the characteristics of personal selling? It is the method of direct selling. It involves oral communication between buyer and seller. In personal selling, the seller wants to convince the buyer to sell his product. It involves the sale of goods and service personally. It's not just good, but it's service also. It is the most effective tool of increasing the sales. Of course, it helps in providing many important information to the enterprise regarding the market. The marketing information system's role is done by sales. If you have a good sales data, you can perform in much better way and you can reduce a lot of costs. What is the nature of functioning of personal sales? Making sales, advertise the new product, service to customers, executive functions. Yes, executive role is important. Record of the sales. Records are very important. You have to collect statistics, then you come to know the trends and you can plan your sales visits and trips accordingly. So statistics is very important. Why selling is important? It is helpful, personal selling especially, it is helpful in the main sales process. Demonstrating the product will increase the impression of the product in the minds of the customer. It is helpful in removing the doubts and confusion of customers. That is the most essential part of it. Helpful in communication. Knowledge of prospective buyers, important. From buyer's point of view, it is all required what we refer as business selling. Of course, it is important to society also. There are limitations of personal selling. It increases the cost of sales. You have to pay good and high salaries to salespeople. Difficulty of reporting at right time and lack of efficient salesmen. People do sales, but reporting in time, and the expected time at the planning level is the most difficult task. And in my earlier lecture also, I have mentioned and given you a lot of references. So time management in sales is the biggest threat and trouble for all the area managers. What are the types of such, you can say, personal selling types? Selling for retailer or consumer, selling for wholesaler or merchant, and selling for manufacturers. What are the types of sales executives? Order getting salesmen, that is manufacturers' orders are got by salesmen. So manufacturers, order getting salesmen it is referred as. These salesmen deal with industrial product and raw material. Their main function is to receive orders in bulk quantity for their manufacturing. Wholesale order getting sales. The salesmen of this nature receive orders from the retailers by strolling in the markets of wholesalers. That is very typical. Retailer order getting salesmen. These salesmen receive orders from consumers by visiting door to door and convincing them for the retailing of it. Order taking salesmen. These salesmen receive bulk orders, sometimes receive the payment for the product also, and these salesmen work for manufacturers, wholesalers, and retailers. Supporting salesmen are such that they neither receive orders of any person nor do they sell. They help the manufacturing order to increase the sale in the common course of business in their respective areas. A missionary salesman is also known as a pioneering salesman. and that act as a communication media amid manufacturers, wholesalers, and retailers. It creates the demand for the product and thus enhance the popularity of the institution. This is now referred as a PR or all that we do in digital marketing. But that missionary salesman concept came when a strong promotion, advocacy, and canvassing was created in the traditional selling history of marketing. Salesmen of mechanical expertise is the people who is technically qualified, engineers or expert mechanics. They are sent to those consumer buyers who face any problem, difficulty, or grievance. We have been using all of them since last 10 years because we have been using technology very heavily all over, you can say, the market scenario. Qualities of sales executives: ability to define positions, exact functions, and duties in relation to the goals the company should expect to attain. That is very important. Exact functions and duties are very important. Ability to select and train capable subordinates and willingness to delegate sufficient authority to enable them to carry out assigned tasks without maximum of caretaking. Rather, it is minimum supervision. Supervision करायला नाही लागलं पाहिजे अशा पद्धतीने subordinates training and understanding that requires a lot of maturity. Ability to utilize time efficient. First, ability to allocate sufficient time for thinking and planning. If you don't have planning time, and if you don't have thinking time, sales end up into disaster. Ability to exercise skilled leadership. You should have a good leadership also. That is very important. Now, theories of personal selling, I'll be talking in the next part of my session. Thank you.